we do have to approve our agenda, so we, as I mentioned in our work session, we do have a need to bump our examiner's report up to the very first thing, so we're going to amend our agenda just a bit, and we're going to put our examiner's report above board business, which will be election of board officers. Outside of that, and noting that change, do we have a motion to approve the agenda as it's been amended?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving this agenda with the addition of that amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This agenda is approved, and Derek, we're going to let you introduce our examiner.
Okay, sorry, the video is muted, so I couldn't hear anything. Okay. You ready for me?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon. My name is Isabel Lisenby. I'm with the City of Alabama, the Department of Examiners of Public Accounts. So I'm here to read the following statement from our department regarding the audit for the fiscal year 2021. So in accordance with the provisions of Act Number 2006-196, Acts of Alabama, Code of Alabama 1975, Section 1613A, 73D, commonly referred to as the School Fiscal Accountability Act. I am here on behalf of the State of Alabama Department of Examiners of Public Accounts to present our audit on the Jackson County Board of Education covering the period October 1, 2020 through September 30, 2021. We conducted our audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and government auditing standards for the purpose of rendering an opinion on the financial statements and to determine whether the board complied with applicable laws and regulations. We also conducted an audit of the board's federal financial assistance programs in accordance with those same standards and the requirements of the Title II United States Code of Federal Regulations, Part 200, Uniform Administrative Requirements, Cost Principles, and Audit Requirements for Federal Awards, also known as Uniform Guidance. We issued an unmodified opinion on the board's financial statements as of and for the fiscal year ended September 30, 2021. This means that the financial statements are presented fairly in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. In addition, we issued an unmodified opinion on the board's major federal financial assistance programs, which for the fiscal year include Title I, grants to local education agencies, COVID-19 Education Stabilization Fund, COVID-19 Coronavirus Relief Fund, and 21st Century Community Learning Centers. The local schools selected for comprehensive testing were Rosaline Elementary and Woodville High School, and all other schools were subject to limited testing. We reported no findings in our audit. The entire report is available on our website for anyone to view. You can find it at www.examiners.alabama.gov, and it's under the Audits Report tab. You can search for Jackson County Board of Education. This concludes my remarks. I would like to thank the board and the central office staff for their assistance and cooperation during this audit process, and we look forward to seeing y'all next year. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to thank Mr. Middleton, Ms. Blackwood, and all the department for their hard work. That was a tough time. All those things, she said, all those different funding sources that were coming out. That was excellent.
Yeah. We appreciate that. Just so that we don't get too far away from what we normally do, as most of you know, that we typically take the first few moments of our board meeting to have prayer or silently reflect on the things that are going on. So if you will bow with me, we're going to do that right now. So if you'll bow with me, please. Thank you. So now we're going to go to the to electing our board officers. So we will open the floor for nominations for board president.
I make a motion to nominate Chad Gorham, board president.
I second that.
Are there any others? Okay, then we'll close that. All in favor of making that appointment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll open the floor for nominations for board vice president.
I'd like to nominate Dr. Angela Guess.
All right, we have Dr. Guess. Are there any others?
Yes, I would like to nominate Mr. Matthews, who has done a beautiful job.
Okay, so we have Mr. Matthews. And we have Dr. Guess. To make it easier, or do either of Mr. Matthews or Dr. Guess decline the nomination?
I'd like to decline mine.
I heard it over here first. I heard it over here first.
Mine was definitely first.
Okay. Dr. Guess, Mr. Matthews would like to decline his nomination.
Me too.
Okay. You both want to decline that? We don't really want to, well, I should be able to go back and decline mine.
It's too late.
Well, if they both decline in earnest, Mike, do you?
Yeah, I don't care. I'll step up and do it. Yes.
Okay. Dr. Guess, that's fine.
That's wonderful.
Okay. All right. Any others? Okay. So, we have Dr. Guess has nominated Mr. Matthews, and hearing no others, then we'll close that. All in favor of approving Mr. Matthews as board vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and Mr. Matthews is now the board vice president. So now we're going to go back down to general business. The agenda is pretty lengthy. I think everybody has copies, and looks like it lists every position, and so everybody has the same information we do. So we're going to combine some topics, and we'll move along. So we will look at general business. We're going to consider a motion to approve general business, the recommendations in general business B through V.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion to approve B through V. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on items B through V? All in favor of approving general business B through V, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and those items are approved. In area 3, we have a couple of recommendations. We had two K-12 principal vacancies. We per law, per rule, and just the order of business, we had to reach out to a neighboring superintendent and neighboring administrator to conduct our interviews for the positions at Woodville High School and Section High School, due to a relative of Mr. Davidson being an applicant. And we received those recommendations from Mr. Wayne Lyles, who is the superintendent of the DeKalb County School System. If you remember, it's been some time ago, but we had an employee of Mr. Dukes who had applied for a job here, and I went to Mr. Jason Barnett to do our interviews for that job. And so it's kind of rare to do this, but we've actually had two within the last few years. But item 3, we have, and these recommendations come from Mr. Wayne Lyles, and we have all the documentation for that. But A, to consider a motion to transfer Leighton Holman from assistant principal at Section High School to principal at Woodville High School effective December the 1st, 2022, and to approve his probationary principal contract.
I make a motion.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving this transfer, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The second, B, consider a motion to transfer Blake Wigley from assistant principal at North Sand Mountain High School to principal at Section High School effective January the 2nd, 2023. Yeah. Jenna,
Typo.
we need to make that make that, correction there on A as well?
It'll be
No,
December.
so
It's
that was correct, 2022, just on B.
It's digital retirement.
Yeah, January the 2nd, 2023, on the 2nd. Blake Wigley, Assistant Principal, North Sand Mountain School, to Principal at Section High School, effective January the 2nd, 2023, and approve the probationary principal contract.
I make a motion.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second, I think it was Chris Knight. Any discussion on that? All in favor of approving that principal's contract, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Under personnel, under leaves, A, consider a motion to approve the family medical leave for Lauren Lackey effective November the 28th, 2022 through January the 2nd, 2023.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion,
Second.
a second, any discussion? All in favor of approving the leave, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Under resignations, we have two. We're just gonna go ahead and take both of those, A and B, if it's okay with everybody else. So consider a motion to accept the resignations A and B.
I make a motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving those resignations, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Under transfers, you see we have, 4 of those. And we will take those in one motion, if that's all right. Consider a motion to transfer the individuals in A through D, to their respective locations at their designated times.
I make a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving these transfers, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Under employments, we have, again, we have about 6 of those, and we will take those in one motion, because I don't think there's any objection to that. So we're gonna consider a motion, we're gonna consider a motion to approve the employments A through F, those individuals that are designated, effective dates and their locations.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion to approve A through F
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving those employments A through F, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Under contracts, we'll look, so we have A, consider a motion to approve the following contracts for instructional interventionalists for the 22-23 school year. See if we have those 8 individuals listed there.
I make a motion.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving those interventionalists, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. If you look, we have a number of coaching assignments, and we too will take these in one motion unless there's a need to break one off. Any need to break those off? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have A through T. And you notice that some of those are pending some background clearances and of course, any other requirements through the AHSAA that go along with that has to be met. So we will now consider a motion to approve the coaching assignments A through T.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion. I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the coaching assignments A through T, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and those coaching assignments have been approved. Under announcements, we will have a meeting in December. It's gonna be December the 14th, and this meeting time will be 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock on the 14th. Any other announcements, Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I just want to recognize Pisley's football team. They made it to the semifinals, the best record they've had in quite a while. They were 11-3. Of the 3 losses, unfortunately, Fife was the last one, and it was one of the other ones too. But that was a big accomplishment for that team. They're very young. I expect them to be there further in the future. Just a big shout out to Mr. Darwin and Coach Pruitt for everything they've done with that team this year and that community and that school. And then the other thing is we've got representatives from Skyline and North Sand Mountain. If you both could stand up. We received a report card that became public the Friday before we got out for Thanksgiving. If you had heard anything in the news, You'll know that Jackson County's district, we went up 4 points, which was a great accomplishment. We went from an 84 district to an 88. We're going to be putting some other information together to sort of spotlight what that entails, but just to give you a preview, we were the 4th highest ranked county school system in the state of Alabama, and we would have been tied for first if we'd got 2 more points. I believe that was pretty close to that number. When you look at our neighbors, our surrounding areas, we were above our neighboring districts, so that was a lot. And it was because of schools like Skyline and North Sun Mountain that were both A districts. They both maintained an A. They were A's before that, and they were both A's this last time. And just proud of the work they've done, and all the schools and all the teachers from every grade level across the county was put in this this calculation to get this grade. We really want to be an A school, and I think the next time the report cards come out, if we can focus on those critical areas that we know we can improve on, then we'll definitely be an A district, the next time these report cards will come out. But to give you a background, the report cards haven't been issued with numeric grades since 2018-19. So this is the first time since COVID these numbers came out. And there were a lot of excuses from other school systems as far as why numbers might have been not as high as they had expected. But I think the precedence that we set by being in school, as soon as we could be in school in person, was the difference. And that credit goes to the board and Mr. Dukes and the leadership at that time to get us through COVID, and how we were able to get kids back in school as soon as possible made a big difference. So congratulations to everybody involved with that.
Okay. Any other announcements or things that the board needs to make known? Okay. Hearing none, then we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
We are now adjourned. Thank you for coming.